Hello, Easy World friends. Julia Rogers Hamrick, and I had a cool experience tonight that I would like to tell you about. And it really is aligned with a powerful Easy World principle. And that is that to be an Easy World, you only act when you're inspired to act. And I guess you could say a clarification of that is you don't only act when you're inspired to act, you always act when you're inspired to act. And sometimes your inspiration comes and it's not going to make a lot of sense to your left brain. Your mind is going to go, I don't get that. I don't need to do that. Well, you need to stop and reconsider, because oftentimes the inspiration, the impulses from your spirit are going to be based on a much broader perspective, a much higher perspective than you're able to see from that left brain limited space. And so, unless it's something dangerous that is obviously harmful and, going to put yourself or somebody else in harm's way, you just might as well go ahead and act on the inspiration even when it doesn't make sense to you. Now, I had this experience many years ago, probably the middle 1980s, where I felt that I was undergoing a type of spiritual training. Not some external spiritual training, but training from my own inner guidance. And I would get the inspiration, the message to do things that didn't make a lot of sense to me. And sometimes I would do them and I would go, oh, that's why you wanted me to do that. But many times it was a situation where I never was truly sure. It was almost as if spirit was, and I don't really believe this is the case, but it kind of felt like being tested. Like, how much do you trust me? Are you willing to do things even when they don't make sense to you? So, for example, I had the urge once to go to the library. I did not have any business at the library, no books to check out, no information that I needed, that I knew of anyway, and no particular interest in going to the library at that time. But I kind of heard go to the library. So I went to the library. I walked around. I know you think I just found this book that changed my life. No, didn't happen. Walked around, rode the elevator up to a higher floor, look around, nothing, hung out, and then, maybe after 10 minutes in the library, I heard, okay, you can go now. So I went. Did I ever find out why? No. Of course, spirit knows things that I can't know at a rational level, and perhaps my energy was somehow needed in the library. Perhaps for some reason, something about the energy in the library was a benefit to me. Maybe I was being taken out of the situation I was in for some reason, and the library was just a nice neutral place to go. I have no idea. But I didn't mind. It felt right to go to the library, so I did. Then there are other times when I would get messages, to do things, and I would do them even though they didn't make a lot of sense. And then I would go, oh, that's why. One evening, for example, one summer night, I was living in a condo. I had a condo in a condo complex that had a nice swimming pool that was closed at night. I think it was closed after 10 p.m. or something, and this was later than that. And I got the message, go to the swimming pool, which was a little bit of a trek from my condo. It was just a walk, but it was maybe a 5-minute walk. But I very distinctively got the message, go to the pool. and not go put your swimsuit on and go to the pool. Just go to the pool. Just like you are, just go to the pool. So I walked up to the pool and I heard very distinctly, only it wasn't a voice hearing, it was a thought, it was like a knowing. Okay, step into the pool, like on the steps into the pool. I stepped into the pool, I heard turn around, I turned around, I looked up. It was the most amazing sky. It was just filled with stars and so easy to see. It didn't seem like there was very much light pollution. And as I was standing there marveling at the beauty of the stars, all of a sudden it was like this, almost like this hologram, this diagram, actually a hologrammatic diagram, just popped into my head, and I suddenly had these understandings, this new level of being able to understand some things. For example, one of the things that came to me really powerfully was that all those stars in the sky really were affecting me and everybody else based on the electromagnetic fields and how the minerals in our bones and our blood were interacting with the particular electromagnetic pull of those stars and planets. And then suddenly astrology made so much more sense to me. And I left that experience just feeling like, okay, I get why I needed to go up there. For some reason, I needed to have my foot in the water, maybe more conductivity. I mean, I know this sounds kooky. If you're hearing me for the very first time, I don't normally sound quite that far out, but nevertheless, that was my experience, and it just kind of upgraded a lot of my perceptions. So that made sense to me. Well, so getting to tonight, I was working this afternoon and really into what I was doing, and I started thinking about dinner. What are we going to do for dinner? Because I'm responsible for at least figuring out usually what we're going to do for dinner, and Rick and I usually put dinner together. But I'm thinking, I don't know. It's just I don't really want to make a big production out of dinner. There's really nothing easy that ready-made that we have that would really suit what I'm in the mood for. And I thought, well, maybe we'll get Chipotle, because sometimes a nice burrito from Chipotle, it's fresh, it's mostly natural, that's a better fast food option than most, so maybe we'll have Chipotle. And I was like, no, very strongly, no, not Chipotle. In fact, I got my dowsing rods out to check these things. It was no, not Chipotle. And then I thought shish kebab, which is a Mediterranean place up the street that we really like. It's really close by, not very expensive. Hummus and falafel and stuffed grape leaves. Love that stuff. And it was kind of a spongy, no, not quite that. And I'm thinking, but that sounds so good. Where could it be? Chinese? No, not up for Chinese. I had that recently, and I thought of everything. It was like, no. And I came back to the shish kebab idea, and I thought, I really want Mediterranean food. That just really sounds great. So then I thought, I know, Neomond, which is this wonderful Mediterranean bakery cafe that's a little farther away than shish kebab, and Rick's never been there, and it's kind of a Raleigh institution. It's, I think it was founded in 1977 and on Hillsborough Street. Got a couple locations now and one sort of near us. So I'm like, that's it. It's Neomond. So I said, Rick, I got this strong intuition that we need to go to Neomond tonight. And, I did think I need to send Rick to pick up food at Neomond, or we need to go. It was like, no, you need to go. Well, you have to know, I wasn't exactly looking like a person who was ready to go out somewhere. And pardon me, all you younger, fresh-faced people who feel great about going out and, don't care particularly to, put on your makeup and all that stuff, but I'm not, I'm not cool. I put on my makeup usually when I go out. Not always, but if I'm going to a restaurant where I might see somebody I hadn't seen in 30 years, I'm going to put my makeup on and fluff my hair and put on something decent to wear. So that just sounded like a big hassle. So I'm like, are you sure that we both need to go Neiman? Yes, it was a very strong yes. So I'm like trying to overcome inertia to go to Neiman. But knowing I need to go, and I love the food, so sure. I did. Got myself ready, and then we kind of sat around and talked about some stuff and hung out and waited, and it was like, okay, let's go. So we went, and I kept thinking, I am going to run into somebody I haven't seen in a long, long time, and that's why we're going to Neiman. Well, we get there, and there's nobody in there that I've ever seen in my life. And I'm thinking, something else really great is going to happen at Neiman. And we get our food, and the food's really good, and we sit there and we enjoy our dinner, and we're sitting there talking, and I'm like, gosh, I really thought I would know. I really had this feeling I was going to know why we had to come to Neiman tonight, but maybe not. Maybe this is just one of those exercises in obedience to my spirit, so that's okay. And Rick got up to kind of bust the table, and as I was sitting there, I was looking in a different direction than I had been looking. While he was sitting on this side, I wasn't looking over here, so I started looking over here, and I thought, man, that woman looks familiar. And I looked a little more closely, but I couldn't tell because I couldn't see but just the back of her head mostly, and a little bit of the side of her head. And I thought, I don't know, I don't know. I think that might be. And I thought it might be my very best friend from childhood, from age, I think about 4 to 5, up through most of elementary school. She and I were like this. She lived next door to me, and then her family built a house across the street from our house. And so we had a close relationship. Her parents were close. We were good friends, and her mom was like another mom to me, and just really close, but we kind of lost track. And I had seen her about 30 years, we figured out, because she's got 3 sons, and the last time I saw her she only had 2, and her youngest son is now 27. So it's been a long, long time. Well, sure enough, I looked at her well enough to feel confident to get up and walk over there, and it was Janet, my good friend from childhood. Thrilled to pieces to see her, and she was thrilled to see me. We were just like caught up in the wonderment of it, because she said she'd never eaten there. She'd picked up food from there before, but she'd never eaten there. And she and her friends had been sitting there for a couple of hours, and I said, well, I had to come. I just felt so strongly guided to come, and I knew that there was some reason, and you're the reason. So Rick got a kick out of that too, that really there was a reason to be at Neiman tonight. So I was thrilled to pieces over that, and happy that I once again followed my inner guidance. Now, sometimes you're going to follow your inner guidance, and the reward is going to be something even more amazing than seeing your childhood friend from another town many, many miles away from where you're living now, that you're going to run into her there. No, she does live in Raleigh, and I know that. But if you follow your spirit, it will lead you to harmonious situations, blessings of all kinds, delightful things, and sometimes things you might not understand. But that is my story for tonight. Follow your spirit without second guessing and questioning, or you can second guess and question, but just follow through with it anyway, because it's always going to pay off, if only that you have the knowing that you are willing to respond to the inspiration, because that's what puts you in easy world. And like tonight, I didn't have to try to work out some kind of way to meet up with her. It just all happened and unfolded naturally. So I'll leave it there and encourage you to choose Easy World and follow your spirits. And I guess that's it for now. I'm Julia Rogers Hamrick, and love to all.